that the sniper activation number is 2 above its printed number, and I can't figure out if it's for the entire duration of the scenario or if it's just for the periods that are night considered night. I'm gonna assume it's for the periods that are considered night because no other like since we're on turn 4, night doesn't exist, so there's no other night rules that are in play. So I changed that in the info spot. But yeah, I was just kind of curious about if there's not a change or if I'm just going crazy.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, I'm if anything, I'm just surprised that it's not written anywhere. Like I would have expected a Q&A about it at this point.
Well, I mean, from what you've said, it's not like a lot of people play the night scenarios, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, people it seems to me that like because ASL is already like a complex game, people see like night rules or like the once we get to amphibious invasions, that's gonna be cool. But like because it adds so much more, I think a lot of people just kind of get stuck on that, and they're just like, oh well, I don't even want to try it out because it's so complicated and you know crazy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit of a pain. It's not something I think I would want to play regularly, though. I guess it would kind of become second nature after a while. But uh, yeah, I don't know. It feels very restrictive, particularly with the no move stuff for the defender.
Mm. I mean, I feel like that's just a normal thing. Like it has to be restrictive for the defender, and it makes sense because the me as the attacker, like I don't really have that much. Like I have fewer guys than you, so if I if I had as many or more, then it'd be even crazier.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think in kind of more of a, it's not in and of itself that it's a bad thing. It's in combination with all of the other things, like the
Right.
inability to spot from illuminated location to a non-illuminated location.
But that's a scenario. That's more this scenario in particular because it's like you have to set up in houses and stuff. I'm sure once we
Yeah,
get
no,
to
yeah, I understand it, and there
yeah.
was some stuff that was outside of that, and so that wasn't as effective. But yeah, I mean, it's just like in combination with all of the other things that the attacker gets, like the concealment changes and things like that,
Mm.
the cloaking in particular. Um, it just feels a little bit restrictive, but it is what it is. Maybe just we'll have to get used to it, that kind of thing.
Well,
Um,
that and I think it's important that it's our opinions that we're forming on this after or during our both of our first uh, night scenario, right? So I kind of wish like at some point maybe I'll like try to like make a highlight clip or just like clip this part and be like, okay, in 2 years when we get to our next night scenario, how do we feel then compared to now?
yeah, sure. No, no. I mean, look, it's not like I don't hate it. Like
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
god, I ever want to play with this again. But it definitely feels restrictive, and if that's part of the intent, then hey, mission success. I think it's interesting how much of this is in a computer age. It feels superfluous. Like I know why they put a lot of this stuff in there,
Mm,
but because it's coming from the board game heritage where everything is physical, you can certainly see where a lot of these rules are coming from. Like I think if you really computerize this, like if you sat down and just said, okay, I'm going to take this as a base, and then we're going to computerize it to the point where if something can be done by the computer, then we don't have to do it. So like the hidden movement, the cloaking, all that stuff. Um, all that stuff I think could be handled better in a computerized environment.
oh yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah,
Like
so like a lot of these rules kind of, I don't want to say they wouldn't be necessary, but they probably wouldn't be as involved if you didn't have to kind of deal with the fact that your opponent can see what you're doing. Like if you
Hmm.
have that perfect fog of war, for lack of a better word, then you don't need a bunch of this stuff that kind of artificially restricts the ability of the defender to react.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like I really wish they'd come out with a PC version of like a proper PC version of this game. If only because I think it would just only it would benefit and only benefit.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think that if you sat down and you just kind of said, okay, we're going to make this as faithful as we can, we're going to let the computer handle as much as we can,
Mm,
then I think you could probably streamline a bunch of the rules because a lot of it is based on, having to deal with kind of the hex encounter, the physical components, and uh, I think it would, you've got a lot of detail here, and why not use it? Like the computer is much better at calculating a bunch of this crap than you or I are.
yeah,
Um, like it can remember all of the all of the multitudes of modifiers and potential situations. And on top of that, if you're going through it, you can clear up some of those weird edge cases that you find,
yeah,
that people found. So you can rewrite things to to better reflect what you want rather than what the rules kind of have come out as, because it's natural language, I think, to a certain degree. It's like attempting to be this technical thing, but I don't know, it doesn't quite always succeed, really.
right. Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change a huge amount, obviously, but I do think that there is a lot of kind of manipulation that can be offloaded onto the computer that would be very useful.
Mm,
Uh, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that they haven't done another one. Maybe they just don't want to deal with it, or nobody's come close to them, come to them with one.
yeah, I don't. It's hard to say just because of like everything that's. It's kind of a very closed doors. Like, despite there being a huge history of the game, there's not much. I don't know how much knowledge there is per se.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like just about any other grog thing, and probably more so since ASL is, I'll say it's quite the D&D of grog games, but it's certainly up there.
Mm,
Your audience just doesn't, they're not online. These guys are all in their 60s. You know, it's my parents' generation. I don't think it's your parents' generation.
right.
So
Let's see if this works. Oh, cool. All right, that finally works. I now have the scenario title on the stream,
oh, cool.
which is, in case anybody actually cares about that stuff. All right. Um, Deliberation aside, do we want to? I know I forgot to change that to reflect that it's the rally phase. That we can leave. The melee we can leave on. All right. Let's put this one to bed.
Yeah, let's
Your
get it done.
your turn.
Just a quick question for next time, I guess.
Hmm.
I would be interested in taking a look at the actual scenario. So where are you getting them? If you can drop me a link to wherever you're getting them, I just want to kind of poke around in the files.
So these a lot of them are private purchases,
Okay.
right?
Uh,
So that's why I send you the scenario file, like the one page.
yeah, no. That's fine. Is there a repository of open scenarios anywhere?
Um, yes and no. So there's a couple people who do um what's the guy's name? Like there's one guy called I think he calls himself Grumble Jones. Um, and he styles himself as being a I'll send you the link while I'm talking about it. He styles himself as having a ASL blog. He's got stuff on it that's not necessarily ASL, as far as I know. Anyways, I don't check all of his stuff on there, but um, there are times where he'll post scenarios that I think he makes, I forget if it's him specifically or if he talks with a buddy or how exactly it goes, but I know he posts scenarios, so there are people that will make them and send them out. Um, Another example, I don't have it on me because it's in one of my boxes, but um, for example, the New England Volunteers, they're a group in New England, obviously. And if you bought one of their products, I forget if it had to be the most recent one or not. They essentially sent out postcards to everybody, and the postcard was literally a scenario. So it's like a freebie type thing. Um, and like some of those free ones, like you can just find by Googling. Game Squad is a forum. They have ASL scenarios on there as well. Um,
Yeah, I actually meant the Vassal files. I wanted to poke through the code in the Vassal files. That's all.
oh, the Vassal files. I mean, you should, because you have the files, so to speak. Like, there's no uh, like you have to create the scenario from scratch.
You're creating these scenarios? Is that what I'm
Yeah,
hearing?
yeah. Like, there's no preset, so to speak. Um,
Okay. Yeah, no, no. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take a look at the V-save then. All right. Sorry, enough digression. That was
yeah,
my
no
fault.
worries.
All right. I don't think I have any rallying to do.
Weather first, but rallies, I
All
don't
right.
think there's anybody. Anyways,
No
no
weather change.
change.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anybody left to rally.
I have I think he has to drop concealment now. He's going to attempt to rally that squad. It's a 7. He's in woods, so that is just barely. And I will try to recuperate the machine gun there, and he's fine. But I am not allowed to repair it. So,
Does that guy need to reveal?
yeah, so that was the thing I'd missed. The When night became day, he should have dropped concealment because he's not in concealment terrain. So apologies for that. Otherwise, yeah, nothing else in rally phase that I can see.
Prepify. Let's see. How does line of sight in buildings work?
Uh, so you treat the building as an LOS obstacle, but you can see into adjacent hexes, right? So it's like woods where you can't see past a wood hex, but as long as you don't the as long as the line of sight thread doesn't go over a woods or in this case building depiction, the LOS is fine.
Both conscripts are going to fire into M3.
Okay. So it's a 12 up 3.
Any mod for the encirclement?
Yes. +1. So it's a 12 up 4.
PTC.
Sounds good. Squad, half squad. They're fine, but you get a sniper activation. Jesus, 3 and 2. Oh, sniper activates. Finally.
Yeah, we're looking for this, right?
So sniper activation, which means on a 2, it's like a pin task check that he could potentially give. Where's the A14.1? Although technically, it's the that's the start of it. But um, so basically, what you're gonna do is you roll two dice. Um, that dice is your distance and direction, and it works the same as. Oh, well, that's even better if you get doubles. So your sniper in L8 moves. Technically, he's gonna go off board. So he goes off board, and then it's a distance to the nearest target. So we'll take our LOS. We'll draw from P7. And really? Okay, we'll just add one hex. So he's 6 hexes away from N10, and he is 6 hexes away from M3. Now, because he's equidistant to both N10 and M3 on board 44, um, if these were both woods hexes, you could choose. Since they're not, you go to the one with the least amount of TEM or terrain effect modifier. So you go to N10, and then it applies the effect that a 2 gets. So a 2 is a pins MMC. So this 337 is pinned. If there were multiple targets, you'd have to roll for random selection, and it took me a while to learn this. But so if you have multiple people who tie in a sniper attack, you have to re-roll the sniper activation to see if you apply the result a second time. I used to always treat it as anybody who ties gets basically blasted, which is overpowered and is not something you should do.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah, snipers are like the great equalizer because if your opponent rolls well, they trigger your sniper, which then is just good for you.
K2 will fire at K3.
Okay,
Officer.
so yeah, same thing with the yeah, still +4.
Same thing. PTC.
All right. Oh yeah, cool. PTC. They pin. Pin. Oh, I forgot my music. The soothing tones of battlefield combat. There we go.
H will fire at M2. Or I'm sorry, J2.
Okay.
So 6 up
3.
3.
Yep.
So 10. Nothing. G2 will fire at J1.
Okay.
Here is directing.
So it's a +1, 2 +1. I think that's a.
Ugh. Well, wait. Why is it a. Oh, because of the weather. Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually forgetting right now. Is 3 hexes +2 or still +1? Doesn't matter for this shot, but I have to go to the kit.
Uh, Pretty sure it's still +1.
Okay.
I think it's every 3, but hold on, look.
Yeah, I hate that it's like it's the one heavy. Yeah, yeah, it's still +1. Okay. Or is it very heavy? No, just heavy. Okay.
Yeah, check. I mean, I think it's nothing either way, but
No, 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 no. It's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure, just in case, because like it's the one thing that bugs me is that the miss chart is if you didn't have Comp Groove Piper, you wouldn't know what these modifiers are. It's kind of strange that they never ported that chart to a different product. And they've never re released Count Groove Piper, which is strange.
we'll fire at D10.
Okay.
So that's 6 +1.
+3.
Okay, 3.
2 for the wall and 1 for the mist.
1 MC.
1 MC. Breaks. And sniper. Still nothing. Jesus.
We'll fire at the foxhole.
Okay.
So 6 up 3, leader
Yeah.
directing. Nothing. That's it for prep fire movement. Yeah, regular movement.
Okay.
So I'll add an extra movement factor in there.
Yeah, so wall is always a +1.
That's 2. It's 5 to get there, isn't it?
So you were going from
To
so
uh,
so the guy in the pillbox.
yeah, in the pillbox. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So when he has to leave the pillbox first, so he's technically spending 1 to get out of the pillbox. He doesn't go straight to E2.
Well, that's where I'm moving. So
Right, right. But so my point is that if he's moving out of the pillbox, I'm gonna shoot at him.
okay.
So it'll be from C10. So it's gonna
Yep.
be a 4 up 1 shot. Um, does pillbox stop? Just gonna see if it stops movement open ground. I don't think it does.
Effective captured weapons.
So the captured weapon, the breakdown number, I believe, is lowered by 2, and the rate of fire also goes down. I'm just gonna. Does the TM apply to anything? Does not look like it. So I think it's a -1 shot because it's non-assault movement. It's considered open ground, and then the hindrance comes into play. So that's not going to do anything, and this is going to malfunction.
Okay, and then we're going to move there. I think that's all my movement for that guy.
Yeah, because that's also technically an olive grove. Else?
So we'll look at something up.
Oh, gotcha.
Unit in O2 exit or O1 exits the pillbox.
Okay, well, he's gonna get shot.
Yep. Well, it's going to get blown up, so you know.
First group that's gonna shoot at him is the N10. So it's doubled, halved, and it's just a +1. Um, so
Sorry,
it'll be
let me back up. Actually, I'm going to assault move out of the pillbox.
okay. So it's a flat. It's a flat 2. So 5 on 2. Normal project.
Success.
They're fine. Then I will have this guy is going to shoot. So it's a 4 firepower. Same thing, just 4 firepower flat.
You don't get a ±1 because of the weather.
So because it's open ground, there's no the you get a -1, but the hindrance adds a +1.
Even with assault move, it's not regular movement; it's assault movement.
Yeah. So regardless, there's always two first fire negatives that you can get. One is not assault move, and one is movement open ground. So even if you assault move, if you're doing it in open ground, you still get the -1.
Okay.
So that's a 5-on-4, which is a 1 morale check. Breaks. Okay, so doesn't change the thing, but that was just a slight fuck up on my part. Should have been a 2 because the LMG is below these guys, so they're not possessing it right now. But that number would have still been a break even on a normal morale check on the 2 firepower. So my bad.
I'll move.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having some difficulty selecting things here.
Yeah, no worries. Happens once you start getting like concealed and whatever. You'll move them and then they like also rearrange for some reason.
Assault move.
Okay.
These guys are just regular movement.
Okay.
And an assault move, which I don't think you can see.
Okay.
So hidden place turns into what? Concealed?
Yes. So a hip unit turns into concealed unit if you drop the if he's gonna move or shoot or whatever. You have an extra counter showing.
I can't delete. I can't conceal it, so that's gonna stay.
Yeah, just hip it. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what it is, but
Annoying.
yeah, I think it's because it doesn't treat it as being a counter that belongs to any nationality or whatever, so it doesn't conceal. It's like how technically you can't conceal a. If I put my concealment on your guys, I don't think it conceals them.
All right, I'm done with movement. Do you have anything?
Okay. Defensive fire phase. Oops.
Light me up.
Yeah, now I got options. Um. All right. So first things first. This group in O2 is going to shoot at M1, or sorry, M2. It's going to be a 4 firepower up 3 for the building hindrance and down 1 for the leader. 4 7-on-4
Nothing.
pin test check.
7-on-4.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm just going top to bottom. So leader,
Yep.
success.
Oh, that was the M2. You don't have to. Is these guys? You don't have a leader there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
So
no
one
worries.
success, one failure.
No, they're both fine because the other one was a 6. If you equal your pin task check, it's fine. It's the morale check that if you equal pins instead.
No, but the second. Oh no, sorry. Yep, no.
Yeah.
Never mind. I
um,
was looking at the 6 on the 10 and going what, and then no, sorry.
I'm gonna have M3 is gonna make shot at the same group, so it's a 8 up 4. That's not gonna work. And lastly, I will have this leader with the squad he's with is gonna do a 6 up 2. 8 on 6, another pin task check. They're both fine.
My God, those conscripts.
I'm telling you, this is how the random.org change works. You're now fine, quote unquote. 4 5. That's what I like. J1's gonna shoot at K2, so just it's a 6 up 4. Nope. And that'll be it for defensive fire. Advancing fire.
Hit those guys. If E2 fired on D10, that would be what? 1 up 1?
Um, yeah, I think it's still just an up 1 from the hindrance, yeah.
All right, so we'll fire there. So nothing. And that's all I'm going to fire right now.
Okay.
Now comes the fun. Routing.
Routing. And it's yours first.
I'll get the guy in O1. P10, I think, is. I mean, I don't know. P10, P9, P8 to that woods, I think, is the closest.
So the one thing I'm curious about is because he's starting broken in open ground next to 2 enemy units. So I think he might have to. I think so. I'm just trying to think if if you can somehow route into a pillbox, but I think the surrender supersedes that.
No, I can't route into a pillbox. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. It's equivalent to a building for both for route purposes.
Okay. Any broken infantry unit during its route phase that is both adjacent and unable to route away from it, or only able to route while being subject to interdiction, resorting to low crawl. Regardless of how it actually routes for the possible blah blah. Yeah, I think the the way I read it is that he can route away, but his only legal path would be the nearest, which would have to be the into the pillbox.
Yep. So that's they route right back into the pillbox and get blown up.
Well, it still needs to go to my fire phase for me before I can blow it up, but still.
Yeah, which unit set it? Because I think they have to be 2 hexes away before you can detonate it.
No, it's just that there's a maximum. Like you can't set it and then like I wouldn't be able to set in O1 and then go to L3 because it's like the wires aren't long enough or whatever. There's something about it. But yeah, I think they're able to route into the pillbox, so you can have them go under there. Because technically, the
Well,
hindrance prevents me from
that's
doing
demolition,
interdiction.
right?
Hmm?
You set it was a set demolition. It was either
Yes.
placed north. A set DC may be detonated using the 36 plus IFT column during any friendly fire phase in a subsequent player turn by that good order unit or one of its derivatives, provided it is within 6 hexes in line of sight of the DC, but at least 2 hexes away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got to keep going.
Then I'll just make sure to move one more hex.
Yeah, make sure. That's why I was trying to get the hell away. I knew I had a turn or so to get there. You poor bastard. All right. Yeah, we'll just hope for boxcars on that roll. Though even then, boxcars is still a morale check.
Boxcars would be a dud, but yeah. Um, my guy in D10, uh, he can route away due to the hindrance, which is the only thing that saves him. Um, I think he's. I think he can go to D6. Um, D9 is 1, E9 is 3 total, and then 4, and yeah. Okay, so I have a choice between F8 and, well, technically F8, F7, and D6. I'm going to run to D6. So, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And that's it for routes. Time for advances.
think that's it.
Okay.
Melee time.
Yeah. Ongoing melee. You're at a 2-1. I'm at a 1-2. And it's still hand to hand.
So that's kill for me.
Is
And
that a
kill for
kill?
you, I think.
Sweet. Oop. Where'd you move that guy?
Put him in the casualty bin.
Oh. All right. That's it for that.
Your turn 4, turn 5.
My turn 5. Because I'm always the start of the turn. Turn 5. Weather. No weather change. Um, I might as well do my rally first. So D6 going to attempt to rally. Does not rally. The DM will come off.
Let me try.
Which guy?
I only have one.
Oh, he can't. You can't self rally on enemy's turn.
No, sorry, never mind.
Um, M1 is going to attempt to grab the gun. They do. J1 is going to attempt to repair. They do not. And C10 is also going to try and repair. They do not. Okay. Prep fire phase. C10 is going to shoot at C1. Say 6 up 4.
We're just down to missed, by the way.
Yeah, but there's still +1 to adjacent. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still +4. That's a no.
Oh, wait a sec.
Hmm. What's up?
No, mist only affects greater than 6 hex fire. Whenever mist is present, an LV hindrance DRM applies at a range of greater than or equal to 7 hexes to all fire and LOS. Mist
Oh,
DRM is +1 for each multiple of 6 sections or fractions thereof beyond the initial 6 hex range, so I don't think there is a modifier for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Where?
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to see this. E3.32.
332, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think what's throwing me off is that because of the reference to Conqueror Piper, I keep thinking about that. All right. So it's only ranges 6. Okay, perfect. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think it's going to affect us at this from here on out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have N2 is gonna shoot first, so it's gonna be a 6 up 1. So it's a 6 on 6, which is a 1 roll check, I think. 6 on 6, yeah.
And I think I drop a morale for the
It's encircled, yeah.
circle, so they're at 5s. So 4s, effectively.
One pins, one breaks. Cool. I'm going to follow it up with a shot from M3 into M2. So it's a 8 firepower up 3. That is a nope. Hmm. J1's going to shoot at K2. 6 up 3. Nope, absolutely not. And then I'm going to have K3 is going to shoot at M2, or H2, 3, sorry, H3. It's going to be a 2 up 2 shot. Nope. And I think that's it for prep fire. Movement. My squad in M1 is going to assault move into L10. Oops.
Okay.
And the squad in N10 is going to assault move into the foxholes.
Is there a movement point limit for that?
Well, this it's the same movement point limit you'd have for anything. Like you can't go over 4 unless you CX, and then 5 or 6 depending. Theoretically, you could do a minimum move, so you would spend all your movement factors, um, and you also get penalized for that. I think it's like task involved or something.
Right.
The squad in J10 is gonna assault move into K1.
All right.
And I'm gonna have the entire stack in O2. It's gonna move into N2 as an assault move. If you're fine with that, the last thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
say
okay.
anything. Just keep going after that.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. Um, D6. I'm gonna have the squad is gonna move to E7 for 2.
All right.
They are going to continue into F7.
Okay.
That's going to be it for them. And lastly, my guys in M3, they're going to go N3 for 1, O3 for 2, P2 for 3, and then off board to the safety of points.
Yep.
And I think that's it for moves.
Okie dokie. Are you still considering? I'm sorry.
No, sorry. That's it. Defensive fire phase.
Ooh. H3 will fire at K3.
Okay.
So 6 up 2.
Yep. So what one MC? Breaks.
G2 will fire at J1.
Okay.
So 2 flat.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was leader directed, if that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
C1 will fire at C10, leader directed.
Okay.
That's 6 up 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. F1 will fire at C10, which is a 2 up 2, I believe.
Okay.
And nothing. K2 will fire at L10.
Okay.
So that is a 6 up 1.
Mm-hmm.
Leader directed. 1 MC.
Passes and your sniper.
No. That's it.
All right. Advancing fire phase. Leader's going to attempt to detonate this DC.
All right.
Ha, of course.
What does that mean?
Means it's nothing.
Whee!
See, you gotta
Good old Mongolian explosives.
trust in the dice.
I don't trust them at all. They're traitorous little bastards.
Him as advanced fire. The squad in N2 is going to shoot himself, not the machine guns.
All right.
So it's 6 halved to 3, but he's got assault fire, so it's a +1. So it's a 4 up 3. And that's a 7 on 4. Which I think is PTC, yeah. So nothing. You still have to roll because could get sniper, but
What about the broken squad?
no, he doesn't. He technically can't pin, so he's fine.
So if someone is pinned already, what is that?
Oops.
Nothing.
Yeah, you can't pin twice. It's really just for sniper generation.
Okay.
Squad in M1 is going to do the same shot, so 4 up 3. Nope. And that's going to be it for shots. Route phase. Take off prep, take off def. Unit in K3 is going to route into L3. He has to stay there.
All right. So I've got some weird route situations here.
So the broken unit in M2 can technically route to one location, I think.
Well, can you route to the other floor?
Yes, that would be, I think, the only situation he could route.
So let's see. How do we represent this?
I got a level 1 for you. There.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, he could only. I think that's the only route location.
Yeah, everybody. There's nowhere else he can go that's not closer to an enemy somewhere.
Yeah.
I think the guy in the pillbox is okay. He doesn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, he's fine.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Advance phase.
For assault.
Alright, so advance phase, I'm going to have the 337 and the 81 are going to advance into their first floor. Or the ground floor, I should say.
Yep.
I'm also going to have the 337 and M1 join them. The remaining stack in N2 is going to advance into M3. I'm gonna have um, I don't want this to work. The 337 in M3 that is not moved is going to go into N2.
Okay.
And the and the 127 is going to advance into L2.
All right.
Hmm. And then I'm going to swap the positions of K1 and L10.
All right.
Meanwhile, on board 44 at the bottom, F7 is going to advance up onto G7. And I think that's going to be it for advances. All right. Close combat. Rolled for ambush. One die roll.
Probably not.
So I have a -1 for my guys being stealthy, and I have a -1 for my leader.
Will you ambush me?
Yeah, and I think, yeah, even with the pin and the lax. Alright, so I ambush. Cool. Um, my CC ratio is I have 2 squads to your pinned. Sadly, the pin doesn't help my ratio at all. So it's going to be, I think it's just a straight 2 to 1.
Yep. So
I will I will choose to declare hand to hand. So I will have a -1 for the ambush, -1 for the leader, and I think I get a -1 for the for being Gurkha.
Yep.
So CC, all right. Phew. I will take that. So circlement goes away, pin goes away, and CC goes away. All right. Okay, that's it for CC phase. Allied turn 5.
All right. Let's see. DMs go away after this phase, right?
Yeah. Well, weather first, and then you get to self rally a unit, and then DMs can go away and stuff.
try and rally the guys in the building, I think.
Okay.
Fail.
I'm gonna try and rally my broken guy in D6. Hey, he rallies. And I can't do anything for this guy, but I will try to repair the machine gun in J1. That's a nope. Oh, I also have this machine gun broken in C10. Nope.
I think the DM's clear.
Yes, if you choose to take it off. I want that one off.
I'm taking it off the one in the building because I'm pretty sure they can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean they'll likely be dead anyways.
Yeah, they're going to get captured because I think they're adjacent to infantry. So when does a surrender happen? That's an interesting question.
So surrendering in a building kind of doesn't really happen. What usually happens is they get eliminated for failure to route. The basically how it would work. I probably should have done this a little differently. Had I thought about it a little bit more, is the guy on the second floor in M2 technically can't see the guys in N2. So if M3 didn't exist, he could route, but then he would then find himself above them. So then he could continue his route into O2, and he technically would not be adjacent.
Yeah. So
In this case, right after the right after the rallies, the DMs come off. Technically, his DM comes back on because he's adjacent to an enemy unit, or a known enemy unit, I should say.
yeah.
So the DM reapplies, but he's basically he'll either stay DM'd and broken for the rest of the game, or depending on how I move my guys, he'll just be eliminated for failure to route.
So yeah, I'm not going to worry about him at the moment. All right. I don't have anybody that can unbreak things at the moment. Prep fire. K2 will fire at K1.
Okay.
Leader direct. 12 up 1.
12 up 2. Keep the encircled still.
All right.
Forgot about that. That's at least a 2 MC.
Yeah, that's a 2 MC exactly.
They break. And sniper, maybe? Hey, finally. My sniper is in L2. Distance and direction. I always forget if the color die is distance or not. Extent of error. I gotta find a mnemonic for it because it always bugs me. Colored dice roll indicates grid reference, and white is direction. Cool. So 1, 2. What is my closest? L3 and K2 are the same distance, but I don't think I can. Can I technically pick him? I think I can.
L3? Where?
So he's in L4, and K2 and M2 are the two closest targets.
All right, yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3, yeah. Now, I think I have to target the broken guy, and I think that kills him. But let me see here. Mhm. All units are eligible sniper targets except AFVs, units in subterranean, interior, hidden units, etc. Yeah, I don't think I can choose that guy because he can't pin. So my sniper would not be able to not do something.
Yep. Okay.
That's how I'm reading it with A14.3. Um, so if that's the case, he has to pick K2. So that's a pin result, and it or
Huh.
technically,
Okay. Let's see. Always
yeah.
inflict DM on all broken enemy units in the attack location.
I'm trying to see if I can find anything that might mention an already broken unit.
I mean, it says non-targets. All targets units are eligible except AFV with no vulnerable PRC units in subterranean or interior building locations, prisoners, or hidden friendly area units.
Yeah,
Uh,
but the thing
so
is because the because a dice roll 2 doesn't do anything. I think it's I don't believe it's an eligible target, right? Because it'd be like, okay, you got a sniper, but he doesn't do anything. Kind of. Let's see here. Texas.
I mean, he would inflict DM.
But he's already DM. That's the. I'm trying to see if there's a play aid that might play aid. Nope. Because I know there's a bunch of play aids out there. I just don't know if there's one for snipers, which doesn't help. And I don't think that, like, under normal circumstances, like, if I had a 1, um, then I would target them because despite them already being broken, the getting a 1 on your sniper activation number states that you break or reduce an MMC that does not break. So because that unit is already broken, you would then reduce it. But because I can't do anything to that unit, I don't think it's an eligible target.
What happens when a broken squad is reduced?
So you're basically taking a squad to a half squad or a half squad um, to death.
So what that says to me is it would reduce to a half squad.
But that's the thing though is that because I got a 2 on the dice, I'm not applying a break to a broken unit. I can't pin him because he's immune, so he should theoretically be an eligible target.
Um, Broken units can become pinned.
Only in the route phase. It is impossible to pin a broken unit otherwise. And the only reason they get pinned is as a result of interdiction. Let me see if I'm just gonna go to the
This
Discord
would
real
be a
quick.
second condition where they are pinned, is what I'm saying. So it's technically possible for them to be pinned.
Hmm. Um, I mean I'll look it up in the rulebook, but I'm pretty sure it's not the case. Mates on two. Right. Pin. God damn it. Pin. Yeah, a unit is also pinned if it fails a passage check, blah, blah, blah. Pinning affects broken units only during an interdiction, and even then, only during the route phase. So there's no need to place pin counters on broken units. There's nothing about. Yeah, there's nothing about.
Okay, well then I think you've got random selection on the other one. There's 3 units there.
Well, you'd be rolling for random selection, but let's just give it a minute because I have somebody replying to me in the Discord. I'm just
Okay.
trying to see.
Well, I'm going to take a quick bio breakdown.
Yeah, yeah, sure. God, why isn't there a play about this? Is there Richard Spilkey charts? Cool. Sniper. Table 27. Does the target hex contain any eligible units? E. All targets are eligible center targets except.
I'm back. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just kind of mumbling to myself because I found one of the play charts, but it doesn't really help all that much. And I'm trying to see if one of the guys in the Discord is typing a bunch, but it's one of those like he's not hitting enter. So All right. Well, I'm gonna say it's inconclusive from what the guy is telling me, but we'll just
Yeah, no, no. Go ahead and
put it into.
yeah, let me roll my my random selection here on the other side.
No, no,
Just
no.
go.
It's well, I'm putting it M2 because I mean the guy is saying I believe so because in theory it's able to do anything. It's able to do something, but it it can't. So instead of like if I'm wrong, it whatever. It's not the end of the world either way.
Do
So
you want to just call it an elimination? Just say that he breaks again under the sniper fire, and we'll
no, because he'll get eliminated otherwise. It's not a big deal. Um, we'll just
okay.
we'll just play it out. It's not a
Sounds good. Okay.
so prep fire.
Yeah, still going. Sorry. So
Yeah,
what
no
was that?
worries.
H3 will fire at J2.
Okay.
So 6 up 2. PTC.
They double cower because they're conscripts. So 6 is a 2, up 2.
I'm sorry, what?
So the conscript squad, because they're considered inexperienced, when they cower, they actually cower 2 columns to the left. So instead of 6 firepower, it goes down to a 2 firepower,
Ah,
and
oh, that's what I
so
missed.
yeah, it's actually an 8 on 2.
All right, nothing. Is there a shit or anything for that?
No, if you're it's just marked as they're fired.
G2 will fire at the foxhole in J1 with leader direction.
Okay,
So 2
straight
flat.
to. So,
PTC.
all right. I they pin, and thankfully there's no booby traps.
C1 will fire at C10
Okay,
with leader direction. So 6 up 2.
take it.
Is that just a miss, or do I actually need to do something else?
No, that's just a miss.
Let's see, do I have anyone else that can fire? Yeah, the first line in F1 will fire at C10 as well. So that's 2 up 2.
Okay,
Nothing. And I think that's it for prep fire.
okay.
Now it's going to get fun. I am going to berserk these Dare Death guys.
In H2.
Yes.
Okay.
They are adjacent to a good order leader who is in G2.
Mm-hmm.
They are within line of sight of enemy units.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that fulfills the requirement, so they will voluntarily berserk.
Okay.
And I know it's already visible, but there's my little marker showing that they are indeed a Dare Death squad.
Yeah, that's why like when I saw the red counter, I was like, that's not a normal thing. So there's a reason for it.
So, all right, yay. Now I have to go back and look at the berserk rules. 1 second. So I have to charge the nearest unit, and there are 2 that are equidistant.
Yeah, and it's nearest in
J2 and J1.
hexes.
Yep, and I will choose to charge the foxhole.
Okay. So in that impulse, I'm gonna shoot at you with the J2 guys.
Okay.
It says 2 firepower, down 2 for non-assault movement and open ground. That is gonna be nope. And my pin guy is also gonna shoot. So it's doubled then halved for being pinned. So it is also a 2 down 2 shot. And that's also a no. Now, when they get into that hex, I have to shoot at him again because of final protective fire, which will also count as a what's the word? A morale check against me, and still -2. Phew. So they don't break, and that's a 4 on 2. One MC.
Not break, and are not
No,
pinned.
they're fine. Berserk units don't pin, so wouldn't matter. Last thing I can do is J2 is going to shoot again as well. So they're going to be doubled then halved, so it's a 1 down 2. Pin test check, but they don't pin, so that's also a negative. So they make it there.
So I'm sorry, we were charging the units in the foxholes, if that's not clear.
Yep, yeah. But it's just because they expend movement factors, right? I can shoot with anybody that can see, provided they don't shoot more times than they've moved.
So that's what I'm saying. Is so do I need to move again to get into the foxholes to CC you?
So,
Or can I spend the extra movement factor to get into the foxholes immediately with that move?
so because the foxholes, the way I understand it is that because foxholes can only have a maximum of that should be a 1 squad. I don't think the yeah, that should be a 1 squad foxhole. Anyways, so because the foxhole has a maximum capacity of 1 squad, I don't believe you can get into the foxhole per se.
No,
you're just
that's a 2 squad foxhole.
no, but it shouldn't be is the thing, because the order of battle says the 4 foxholes you got were all 1 squad. On the scenario card, they're all 1 squads.
There's a limit of 1 foxhole counter per hex with a total capacity of 3 squads. Should a second or third foxhole be created in the same hex, a foxhole 1S counter is replaced by a foxhole 2S or 3S counter as appropriate.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't realize you did it that way.
There's only 3 foxholes on the board because the 4 that I used, I only used 3 of them. Or
Gotcha.
I used 2 1 squads on the sides and then the 2 squad right there.
Gotcha. Then yeah, as far as I can tell, they they're in the foxholes.
Hello. We had to see what the.
What's all the commotion?
It seems very exciting over here. Did I? I think I prep fired these guys. I'm gonna put those on. I'm not sure I have any other movement.
I'm just gonna move that concealment counter off board. That was stuck in the river.
So these poor schmucks up here.
Okay.
I think because of the mist, you can't see them. It's a hindrance, I think. I don't know. I don't think they lose.
So a hindrance wouldn't be enough. It would be you have to have a total of 6 hindrances before it blocks hindrance blocks vision. So it would be a matter of if J2 can see them. Yeah. So they would lose concealment.
Oh no!
Oh man.
And I think that's all they can do.
Okay.
I have a dumb question. Once you're in a building, is the cost always 2 no matter what?
Yeah. Yeah, the only exception I think is factories.
E3 will assault move to B2.
Okay.
And I think that's everybody.
Right. Defensive fire.
These guys get a CC marker, do they not?
The Dare Death guys and everything, yeah. M3 is going to shoot at K2. So it's going to be a +1 from the Olive Grove, +3 from Fortified Building, down 2 for the leader, and shooting with both LMGs. So it's just a straight or a 4 up 2. So 8 on 4, and I have rate of fire. Cool.
So 8 on 4 is nothing, I think.
Yeah, that's a miss, but I have rate, so I will shoot again. Same modifiers. Again, nothing and no rate. The stack in M2 is going to make the same sort of shot. So they're shooting 6 up 2. Right. So it's a 4 on 6, which is a 2 morale check.
And I believe I get a -1 for the encirclement.
Your morale is down 1, yeah.
Alright, so leader succeeds. First line.
It was a 2 MC, yeah? So the leader breaks. Because his morale is 7. Alright, that might save me. Final fire goes there. What other shots do I have? Oh, we'll continue our little exchange. C10 to C1, 6 up 3. Nope, absolutely not. And that's it. Advance fire. The berserkers should be allowed to advance fire, so they could shoot. I don't think anybody else has shots.
Yeah, no, everybody else is not having fun. Sure, why not?
So that's. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can. I
I mean, they're in
took.
close combat, so
Well, so the way it works is they you get to shoot. I don't think they technically get the CC counter until after the advanced fire phase. Um, I think I forgot to calculate it in my shot, but whatever. And it's because it's triple point blank fire. So you would be at 12, and then because it's the advanced fire phase, halved. So it's 6. I think still up 2 because of the fox.
sure, why not? Nothing.
All right. So they're still going to be marked as CC.
Yeah, that's they can fire, I believe.
Okay.
Have fun.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy.
So I think this whole stack routes up.
The K2? Yeah.
Yeah.
They can. That would be the only way they can go.
Trying to control click thing.
Yeah.
I think that's it. These other guys will try to route. And I think they route over to that path we were talking about, N2 to O2.
Yeah. So the way I would understand it is that you can technically route to from M2 to N2 because even though he can see the guys in M3, uh, well, he's not getting further away, but he's not getting closer. I think technically that's allowed. Then, because he then sees people in N2, he has to continue his route into O2. Um, my only route would be K1. He's just going to route towards L10.
Okay.
All right, advances.
Sorry, I just misclicked there.
Yep, no worries.
And that's it.
Okay. So CC phase. There's no ambush for the berserk guys.
Subtle they ain't.
Yeah, well, if there was an ambush, they'd be lax technically. So are the dare death guys allowed to initiate hand to hand dare death? Enter into and
I,
resolve. Oh, they can.
armed, unpinned, near death MMC versus personnel is a -1, but I don't think they can.
No, they enter into and resolve hand-to-hand CC as if they were Japanese. So, yeah, just look up the Japanese thing.
Yeah, sure. Let's go hand to hand. Why not?
Okay. So we technically both get -1s, um, but it ensures higher kill rates, which is always cool. Um, you're fighting at a 1-to-1, I believe, because you're not enough to have 3-2.
Yep.
Um, I'm pinned, so instead of being uh, a 3-4, it'd be 1.5-4, which is on the 1-4 table or ratio.
Sure.
Am I sure what?
Well, I'm looking at the chart A1111, and it's saying that there's a CCV modifier for have firepower.
But it's CCV though. The CCVs versus vehicles.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
So I get the in the chart the CCDRM. It's the second on the left, which always messes people up because the exception is in there, and they should have put it like guarding at the end and have motion and pinned in front of it. Because it gets missed a bit. So because I'm pinned, my ratio is lowered, my firepower is lowered, but not. Um, I don't believe it's. I don't believe it applies to an attacking unit. Let me double check here. Because the way I understand it is that the pin only applies to my attack and not my defense. God, why is everything here about CCVs? Yeah, I don't see anything that specifically mentions it, which is kind of annoying. I've always seen it as because the chart says by a unit and not versus a unit, you're not getting like a double modifier to your firepower. It just means that my guys are worse at returning fire or doing whatever. So you're fighting at a 1-to-1, but I'm fighting at a 1-to-4.
Okay, one sec. Yeah, no, it flat out says the halved FP of a pinned unit in CC applies only to its attack, not to its defense.
What line is it?
7.8. Like the second to last line or third to last line. It's toward the end of the paragraph.
Was the sorry, I didn't catch the 7.8?
7.8, yes.
7.8. Ah, okay, there you go. Yeah, it's not in the CC in the close combat page, so that's why I couldn't find it.
Okay, so I am rolling. I believe I just have a net -1.
Yeah. So my guy's dead. Alright, cool. We both kill each other again. I gotta be very careful. Alright, end of turn 5. Alright, last turn. No more mist.
I think it's just you, right?
Yeah, it's just me. So I have one chance to close this out and hope I can get a win out of this. Weather, no change. There's no more mist. Rally attempts. Now, I probably won't be able to rally my guy in L10, so I'm going to try and self-rally L3. Just barely. So get that guy back. My guy in L10 is going to lose his DM. And I'm going to try and repair the machine gun. Nope.
Do I get a self-rally in addition to the leader?
No, because it's not your turn.
All right. So who can I rally?
K2, second floor. You get that leader.
A +5.
It's a +4. You'll get because you're in the building. You still got that. Encircled technically doesn't count anymore because that would be on the ground floor and not where you on the upper floor. And because he's self-rallying, there's a +1. So there's a it's basically the +4 from the DM. All right. DMs come off on anybody you want them to come off. Not, I think that it matters all that much, but. All right. Okay, prep fire. How do I want to do this? Can this one jerk do anything? No, probably not gonna matter all that much. That guy could CX. No shots. I'm just gonna do movement.
Okay.
So, first things first, N2 is gonna move out as a normal move into. Oh, one sec here. There we go. So my squad in N2 is going to move into the ground floor of O2. They're going to cause the broken squad to go DM, and they will then move into O1.
Okay.
My squad in L10 is going to normal move into M1, and then they will continue into N1, and they will end in O1.
Okay.
My stack in M2 are going to normal move. Oops. They're going to normal move into L2, and then they will continue into the fortified location in K2. Everybody on the second floor goes DM. My half squad in L2 is going to move into M2 for 2, and then they're going to go on to the upper floor for 4. My half squad in J2 is going to assault move to the upper floor. Mark that was moved. You know what? Sure. L3 is going to move. Is going to declare CX. They're going to move into M3 for 2. They're going to continue to N2 for 4, and they will finish on the ground floor of O2. Now, do I have?
I think you have it. So all of my guys will now die during rally phase. Yes.
Well, there's the defensive fire phase, and there's still. I'm trying to mentally calculate how many points I could get, and you know, um,
from captures and kills alone, you probably are close, and then the victory points for the buildings will probably put you over, is my guess, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's, like I said, there's still dice to be rolled, so I don't want to. I'm trying to make sure that like what I'm doing is possible, without also like screwing myself over. Um, I yeah, I think I have to. M3 is going to move into L2. They are then going to continue into K3.
All right, fire at them.
Okay. It's
Six
a
plus two.
6-up 1 because it's a non-assault move.
Normal morale check.
Normal morale check. Leader first. Just passes, and the squad is fine. All right. And then they're going to go onto the upper level for 6. Do I have enough points? How many have I lost? Alright, so if I did... half squad and D6 is going to declare CX to D7 for 1,
Okay.
D8 for 2.
C1 will fire on him.
Okay. It's a 3 down 2 shot, or 2 down 2.
Here's directing. 2 down 2, so that's a 4. That's a 1 MC.
1 MC breaks. Damn. They are no longer CX. I don't think I'm going to run there anyway, so I'm not going to put residual. Two, 4. How many points can I lose? Squad and G7 is going to CX into F7 for 1.
Okay.
F8 for 2.
Okay.
F9 for 4.
The first line will fire at him.
Okay. So it's a
2.
it's a 2-up.
Flat.
So it's -1 for non-assault movement and +1 for the TM. So flat, yeah.
Nothing in cower.
And they cower, which means they final fired, which is perfect. They're going to continue to E10 for 5.
The first line in, let's see, G2 will fire at them with leader direction.
All right, I'm just gonna
You know what?
draw LOS.
Sorry, before.
That's a blocked shot. So they still roll to attack.
Why is that blocked?
because E1 blocks it. The building in or sorry, F1. The building in F1 blocks the view.
Okay.
So you still roll to see if sniper or anything, but there's no effect. All right. So those guys are also considered first fire, and then that was 1, 2, 4, 5, and then 6 to get into E1. And into E1, I mean into the open ground portion, not the pillbox. And if nobody's shooting at him, that's it for my moves. Defensive fire.
Um, the elite will fire. Sorry, in G2 will fire over at K2.
Okay.
So 4 up 3.
Yeah.
Nothing. B1 will fire at C10.
Okay.
So that's 6 up 2.
Yep.
And that's it.
All right. Advanced fire phase. I will have C10 shoot at C1. It's 4 up 3. Nope. I might as well. O2 is going to shoot up to the higher level. So it's 4 up 3. Nope. The stack in K3 is going to shoot at your stack in K2. It's a 4 up or 4 flat. Nope. And just to be cheeky, E1's going to shoot at F1. It's another 4 up 1 shot. 6 on 4.
10 task.
On 4 is a normal morale check. Oh, sorry. That's a +3 shot. It's a 8 on 4. Yeah, my bad.
So what is it? 8 on 4?
Yeah, that's a miss. I was for some reason I was only thinking of +1, like I was still applying the -2 from my leader. And that's it for advanced phase. Routes. I think this is where this and the advances is what's gonna determine the end. So, um, looking at everybody, I technically have to route first. So my D8 is gonna go. We'll just put them in F7. It's not a big deal. Um, both stacks O2 and K2, I believe, are eliminated for failure to route. I don't think prisoners come into play. If they do, then I would just refuse it anyways.
They can't get off board, so you don't get double VP for them, so they're just casualties.
Yeah, that would be the rationale, but I don't believe they become prisoners because they're in a building, so they're not subject to the rules of being in open ground and subject to interdiction. So those guys are eliminated, and nothing left to rally. So then in the advance phase, I'm going to advance E1 into the pillbox. And in O1, my 2 squads are going to advance. Actually, they can't advance into the pillbox, but they're going to claim CC against the guys in the pillbox. All right, so might as well just do the CC since it's not. I don't believe an ambush applies, but might as well double check. I don't think it does because technically I'm not moving into the pillbox. Pillbox. Oh, okay, there is. Huh. All right, well, I rolled a 3. I have a -1 for being stealthy. Apparently, you have a +2 for pillbox. Really? Like, I get the rationale, but okay. And then a +1 for being broken. Yeah, okay. So ambush. Um, I'll declare hand to hand. Yeah, that's. Your guys of what squad are they? A 3. So that's a 7. I'd be at a 1-to-1 with a -1, so 6. I think that's a kill.
Wait,
Yeah.
we're at a 1-to-3. You only advance in with the half squad.
No. So you can't advance into a pillbox because it's like the same thing with the foxhole. You can't occupy a location that's already at capacity, and or at least not strictly foxholes and pillboxes, but also the rules pertaining to pillboxes is that you can never have a CC in a pillbox. It's always a unit outside the pillbox and a unit inside the pillbox. So because I'd be attacking with all my units against your broken guys, right? So under norm.
Yeah, and I think you win as a result. Yeah.
Well, so we got to calculate this out. I have. Now this is going to be the complicated part. So, I control M3 on board 44, which is a point. I control L3, which is a point, and then 4 points for both of the multi-hex buildings. So, 6 points for buildings. I have an extra 4 points for pillboxes. So that's 10. And I need. How much is it? 27. Okay, so I need 27. Um, I have 4 for the captured guys. And in the casualty bin.
You have 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the buildings were greedy.
Phew. I was, to be honest, I was really worried there. In total, I lost, what is it, 10 points. If I had lost 7 more, that would have been game over. So when, uh, honestly, this is, if you might not think it close, but this was a close game. Um, the Dare Death squad you did was honestly, it's a really good option. Um, had they not died, that would have been a major win because them just being in the foxhole would have been a pain in the ass. Um, when your 2 conscript squads shot and they got that good result, had my guys broken, I would have been really worried because K3 breaking, and if you had shot with G2 to J2, if you'd done anything to break them as well, I would have had to route first. So
Yeah, no. So here is the problem. The major issue that I had. They're my other Dare Death squad, and they were just out of position to be used. So what should have happened is last turn, both of those squads should have charged over into that building.
Yeah, I was kind of I wasn't sure where your last guy was, to be honest.
They were out of position. They were down here in. They were down there. So if I had berserked them, they would have gone off to those guys. So
honestly, still not that bad an option. Just because like killing these guys were the only like really big opposition on this side anyways, on the right side. So killing them would have freed up these guys to move and either go against them.
That's the thing. They would have been able to move, but they're not close enough to anything to be of a matter. So unless I had done that much earlier in the game, which was a possibility, I might have should have done it once the night broke. I would have had to start moving those guys over further. No, the biggest issue was I abandoned that pillbox because I completely forgot that they were worth victory points. So, so that was a point. Yeah, no, there were mistakes.
It was a close game though. Honestly, someone in the thread had asked because they were curious about what I thought about your defensive setup, and to make it a shorter explanation than the post was, we had both been mistaken. Like I would have made the same errors as you with regards to, especially putting the leaders in the illuminated buildings, which kind of like really screwed, like it screwed up your star shells, and it would have screwed me up too. So like other than the hindsight, like I really liked your position of the dummy counters you had. There was just enough of them to make me think that some of them were real and not fake. And the only confusing thing I had was the cruise was the only thing, and like that's just because you didn't know necessarily what they were supposed to do.
If they were crews, they would have been in the pillboxes. Like there's
with the machine guns.
Yeah, with the machine guns. So yeah, there was that, and I would have taken those 2 guys that are all the way up on the north side of the map and swapped them with the actual 2 dummy counters that were still floating around down here.
I actually do those guys count as the dummy counters count as units?
There's 2 counters, not 2.
Oh, there, yeah. Then.
So yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I.
Well, so to be completely fair, it's not necessarily a bad idea to have. Like I was thinking about this myself. The having someone in D9, like if let's say you had an infantry crew with a machine gun, you can cover these buildings, and you can also cover if the Mongolian player chooses the right side, you got all these buildings you can cover, and you only need to like the Mongolian player doesn't get control of a building until everybody in it is gone, right? So even just having like a Chinese squad in here on like the second floor or whatever, and you're forcing the Mongolian player to get close, he still has to risk that melee fight, and if he wins, then you're blasting him with your machine gun.
Come on, you're still Gurkhas. It's like against conscripts for the most part. I mean, yes, I've got a pretty fair amount of first line and elite guys, but
Sure,
you
but
know,
what I mean is that at least you're covering it so that if the Mongolian player gets into that hex, right, to fight on the upper level, you can blast them with the machine gun, and even if like as soon as you lose that conscript squad or first line or whatever, you still have the pressure of the machine gun able to apply on it. Like the one thing that really screwed you over was the fact that like both your machine guns broke. Like had that not happened, then you've got a lot more firepower that you can put out.
no, I would have placed the Foxhole in O1 in P1 perhaps, just to have a slightly better arc cover arc that allowed you to sneak up behind me there with pretty much impunity.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, so could because it's the setup is one hex from any Mongolian entry hex. Okay, never mind.
yeah, so pretty much anything on those two boards, I think it can go with the width. So yeah, just scooting that back one, it would just make it slightly more difficult to approach it.
Hmm.
And so that would have helped out. What else? Yes, having the guns actually functional would have
Yeah.
helped as well. Uh, I don't know. I'm debating whether it would have been worthwhile to put more of the dummy counters up front and pull the troops back into the buildings. Given the night rules, I don't know. It's
Honestly, I still think that like the placement you have was good. The left side always kept me guessing, and the any fakes you had on the right side, like there were just enough. I like the concentration basically you had with both of them. The hip foxhole was a nice surprise, and really threw me off of my game on the right side. Um, I basically only wanted to have as many units as I could afford to lose and keep you busy was the only point of those guys. Um,
Yeah, I didn't move the Dare Death guys around enough. They should have been moving much more often, but I was too concerned about the hip um, loss to really. I wasn't
oh,
confident
gotcha.
to move around with the hip. Um, I'm not sure. We talked about putting a machine gun over here in D9 C9, but they're still at plus maximum range. On those LMGs only have a 6x range, so they can basically reach just across the river. Now, yes, they can fire at extended range, but they're I don't know, it's only a couple of firepower, so
That's 10 range on the MMG.
yeah, I don't know.
Like I get what you're saying though. It's not the best placement, and obviously it's hard to really say how effective anything would have been considering both breaking. Um, I'm sure like having it in M2 would have also been a good idea, or having them in like in H2 or
Yeah, that's what I was
E1
going to say.
or
Putting them
F1.
over there might not be a bad idea as well. I can't put the foxholes on the train tracks. Yeah.
I think if anything, the one gimme that I would probably always put would be having if I don't have the infantry crews with the machine guns in pillboxes, I would probably have conscripts. And I'd have to double check the rules because I forget, but I would deploy them. I just forget if they can deploy or not, if it's like a date restricted thing or whatever, because having a half squad in a pillbox, it's like I was saying with the CC. You can't get into the pillbox um, without first like killing everybody in it. So so a placement like a pillbox in E1 is great because if I have to go into open ground to get to the pillbox and then I'm stuck outside of it trying to fight the guys inside while everybody adjacent to it is just like, haha, look at these easy targets and just like hose them down.
Yeah, the thing is, the conscripts can't use the machine guns, so that's only if you're not going to put machine guns in there.
Yeah, but like depending on your pillbox placement, like it doesn't really you don't get like for example in E1, the long range doesn't matter because the way you're pointing, you're getting, you know, 3 hexes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much anywhere on this map. I mean, the other
With
pillbox,
the night rules, yes. But
yeah, so it's kind of like, the long range is great, I guess, if you're further back, like if we stuck them in the back in that building over there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a variety of ways. I would do it slightly differently if I was doing it again. Not that I'm particularly eager to play it again, to be honest, but yeah,
fair.
yeah, I think I did all right. I had some really horrific luck early on with machine guns breaking and just some bad rolls. I mean, I had some good rolls too. I had a
I feel
like 2 guys in that foxhole battle, that first foxhole assault.
I feel like bias is really at least in the way I look at your roles because like when you started today, I'm gonna assume you started with the random.org numbers, and it's like yes, you're I feel like your roles improved like immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, look, I know that they don't. I know that it's not like a thing. Like they don't. Yeah, my average, it's average, slightly below average, if anything.
I just think that if there's if there's something I would point to, um, the vassal die not being as random as say random.org, I would point to this game and just and hope someone's listening. Not that it makes a difference, but I just thought it was, to me it's just funny.
Yeah,
Um,
no, and I mean, I totally. It's like it's gonna average out. I mean, we're gonna make literally thousands of die rolls over the course of the
yeah,
year.
for sure.
There's gonna be games where I'm gonna roll well. There's gonna be games where I'm gonna roll crappy, and most of them I'm gonna roll average. That's just the way the math works. So yeah, it was just a feel. It was like when I needed those rolls, it was like boom, fail, boom, fail, boom, fail. I mean, the only one I really got lucky on tonight was that you roll in boxcars for that the DC.
Yeah. Well, I also got really lucky with the snake eyes I got. I think that was what got your K2 guys. So
Yeah,
without the snake eyes, that would have also been a like not killing those guys would have made it a closer game.
yeah, but
So
I mean, I think you had enough guys that you could assault in and take them out. I mean, I think that
so
would be.
but that's the thing though. A fortified building, you can't advance into it. That's why I never advanced into C1. I couldn't. The
Uh,
the only way to get into a fortified location is if everybody inside is either pinned or broken or essentially not good order.
well, I mean, you could have breached it, right?
Not
You
with
had
I need DCs. And
you
I
only
only
had the
have
one.
yes.
You only had the one. Oh,
Yeah. So it's like the DC you have is like okay, there's 4 fortified locations and 2 pillboxes. Well, if you have units in a pillbox, they can't technically fight out of it. So my best bet would be to find like the weakest location and blow that one up. And obviously hope that the DC actually works. But that was the only plan because breaching a fortified location is like really dangerous. And considering the I only had 3 leaders, I didn't really want to risk it with one of them.
I got to be honest. I'm not quite sure why they give the Chinese demolition charges. Like I have 2 of them, or I had 2 of them. I guess it's so you can capture them. I think that's the only reason that they're there.
So
The
the
Mongolians do.
the only rationale I can think of is so that you can set them because I think you can set if you set them outside of LOS, you I think you have to state you're doing an action or that you're setting the DC, but because everybody would be concealed, like basically the understanding I would have is that let's say you have your leader in K2, right? He's got a DC and he plants at some turn, right? From either 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever. Um, he says, you know what? Let's put a DC into this fortified location. So you set the DC, and then you just as soon as he gets movement, you run him over to like H3 or whatever where he's safe. Or I guess technically he'd have to go here for LOS. But anyway, so he goes into like whatever other location and he's protected there. Then when I go in because I need to go in to capture the building, you blow it up. That
Yeah,
would be
true.
that would be the only thing I could think of for the DCs.
No, that's a good thought, and I probably should have thought of that. Thought a little ahead. I was kind of like, okay, I'll move
Well,
it to that spots because why not? Let's be funny.
let's be honest though. Like for a second game, honestly, it was close, and I think you did a really good job.
I'm glad. I'm looking forward to the World War One. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that one's gonna be cool. Um, yeah, so World War One. For anybody, I guess I'll just mention it. For anybody watching, however far into the future, next episode or next scenario, there is a breakout. It's a part of a publication called ASL: The Great War. It's actually on the internet, so if anybody is curious, um, you can go to. I'm trying to find the link here. I didn't think about it beforehand, unfortunately. But essentially, it's online. The guy has posted the rules, so anybody can pick up um, the scenario rule or the scenarios, which I think he has like 2 or 3. Uh, and he's also got the PDF for it. Cote 1664. The only downside is that the website itself is in French. So if you can't read French, get a translation, or at worst, ask me. I can point you to the proper place to look. And yeah, so we're gonna go into World War One. There's probably about 5-ish scenarios. One, two. I think I got 4 scenarios. Yeah, so we got about 4 scenarios that take place specifically in World War One, so that'll be interesting. And then after that, it'll be the Russian Revolution. So it'll be continuing LFTs from the Cellar Pack 4, which is what we've done for the last scenario and this one, the Argun Knot. And that one's going to be interesting because we finally get into Red Russians and Czechs and other stuff. The I think it's the Red Russians that also get a bunch of modifiers to using DCs. So if you want to use DCs, oh no, it's not them. It's the Social Revolution Party. They're like crazy for DCs, so that'll be sick to see. But
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, me too. I think it's gonna be fun. So yeah, as always, everybody who's tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.